This is Optimal Relationships Daily. Why, for better or worse, is a fatal vow by Dr. Kelly Flanagan of drkellyflanagan.com. Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Audino, and this is ORD, the podcast where I read to you every day from different blogs about relationship building and then offer my commentary at the end. And today we will hear Dr. Kelly Flanagan's work, taking another look at our marital vows, how we approach them, and how to ensure we're doing everything we can to build good, healthy marriages. So let's get into it now and start optimizing your life. Why, for better or worse, is a fatal vow by Dr. Kelly Flanagan of drkellyflanagan.com. We walk down the marriage aisle, convinced our marriages will thrive. And with utter sincerity, we make a vow that is the pinnacle of commitment, for better or worse. But what if that vow is the beginning of the end for our marriages? The happiest day of our lives. Watch them. He stands waiting, brow glistening, his friends lined up behind him like faithful penguins, and the doors open, and she appears radiant and bathed in white, and she begins to glide toward him, and her face is like the sun, and his smile widens, and now his eyes are glistening. With a blessing from her father, their hands are joined, and they turn to face the person who will walk them through the ritual, joining them forever. The questions are asked: do you take this man to be your husband? Do you take this woman to be your wife? For better or worse? And from both, I do. Watch them. Watch closely. Something's off. They make this for better or worse promise, this eternal commitment of their hearts, this gutsy, courageous vow to remain through anything, heartache, and a lost baby, and a house fire, and joblessness, and sickness, and pestilence, and even death. And how do they make this promise? With a smile. In fact, they look downright relieved. Watch them closely, because this could kill their marriage. The commitment deception. Half of first-time marriages end in divorce. The odds of survival are the flip of a coin. How do we go from the tranquil confidence of the wedding day vow to the vicious certainty of the courtroom battle? I look around and I wonder if our commitments are a facade. I love purchasing from Amazon. Why? Because if I don't like what I get, they make it so easy to return. We can walk away from mortgages as if our houses are old tents at a campground. Employers treat new hires like they're trying out for the high school baseball team. Miss the numbers for one quarter and you're instantly replaced. People move in and out of commuter neighborhoods like they're red roof inns. We shop churches like malls, moving from one to another when newer and shinier products are offered. In a world of exchangeability and transience, our commitment muscles have atrophied. In a world of customization and customer satisfaction, the hard, endless work of committing to one thing may have become too excruciating to endure. But if our wedding day vow isn't really a commitment, what is it? Maybe when we make our for better or worse vow, we aren't even speaking to our partner. Maybe we're actually speaking to our own hearts, whispering to ourselves a subtle reassurance. They're mine now. They can't leave me. No matter what I do or don't do, I can't mess this up now. I won't be abandoned. I think this could be the unspoken underbelly of the marital vow. It's why we smile with relief when we make the forever promise. Our hearts aren't actually entering into the demanding task of lifelong commitment. Our hearts are anticipating assurance and certainty, and the stability for which we so deeply long. And when commitment is experienced as an event that has already happened, an event that brings us reassurance and guarantees, rather than the work of our lives, it is fatal to marriage. Why you should treat your marriage like a business. Commitment is not a sentiment we vow. It's a discipline we live. We don't promise commitment, we practice it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe we should treat our marriages like a business, or approach them the way we would the PTA, or the kids' guitar lessons, or our blogs and other social commitments, with focus and intentionality and regularity. Can you imagine investing your entire life savings into a business, opening the doors, and then sitting back and heaving a sigh of relief as if the hard work is already done? It would spell doom for the business. And yet, in the most valuable endeavor of our lives, as the moment of the wedding day vow fades into memory, we abandon intentionality in our marriages. The birthday flowers no longer get purchased. The kids get a hug on the way out the door, but your spouse doesn't. Your time together is focused on others rather than each other, and your energy is given away to every other priority. I think this is actually a key secret to the success of marital therapy. As a marital therapist, I'm not doing anything miraculous. I don't often have a bunch of cards up my sleeve, no magic, but I do provide a dedicated space, an hour of intentionality every week, an hour to face each other and say in words and action, "You matter, we matter, this is my first priority right now." An hour a week to slow down, to communicate meticulously, to go deeper into the most important parts of our hearts, and to rediscover the promise of the wedding altar. This kind of intentionality is hard work, but the muscles of our love are starving for the exercise. They need to be stretched and torn to become stronger in the healing. Living the vow and reclaiming commitment, we need to withdraw some of the intentionality we are putting into everything else, and we need to reinvest it in our most valuable asset, our marriages. We need to take at least 2 weekends a year to ourselves, away from the kids and phones and dinner dishes, and 1 date night a month, and 1 morning per week, waking before the birds and the kids, to sip coffee in the dark and light the flame of commitment. If we invested in our marriages with this kind of intentionality, our marriage vows would become powerful again, because they would be lived again and again, day after day and year after year. And they would be accompanied by an entirely different kind of smile. Not one of relief, but a smile of joy. A smile that acknowledges the most grueling work of life has begun. That the commitment will be hard, but it will be good. And it will strengthen our souls, making us people who can live and love and persevere, for better or worse. You just listened to the post titled, "Why, for Better or Worse, is a Fatal Vow," by Dr. Kelly Flanagan of drkellyflanagan.com, and I'll be back in just a moment with my commentary. And a big thank you to Dr. Kelly for this article today. There's just an incredible amount of truth to it, and to me it does an awesome job of highlighting the seriousness of marriage and such commitments. Perhaps it's a seriousness that feels too intense for us, causing us to shy away and fall into this mindset of, well, the work is mostly done now, as Dr. Kelly described. But upon committing to anything, even marriage, maybe it's important for us to be okay with potential failure. Maybe we can say to ourselves that, although the real work of marriage can be long and difficult, we can still do our best and take pride in that, whether or not the marriage lasts. It seems to me that we either have that option or the option that Dr. Kelly described, in which we dive in anyway and retreat from the work, choosing to ignore the possibility of the marriage failing. To me, one is more realistic and empowering than the other. So I say we take our crystal balls away. We don't know the future of our marriages. But in spite of that, we can still commit to the work with all the strength we can muster. Making that promise to ourselves and our partners is enough. So think about that, everyone. It's time to wrap things up for today, but I thank you for being here and listening intently. This was definitely an important article that has implications on the many commitments of life, and I hope it has inspired you. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.